Good afternoon, everyone. You're looking at a live view of the SpaceX launch site at Cape Canaveral Air Force Station. It's T-minus 16 minutes, and we're working for an on-time launch at 5:41 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, or 22 hours 41 minutes Universal Time. The team is counting down for the launch of SpaceX's first geosynchronous transmission for the Falcon 9 rocket, carrying the SES-8 satellite for SES, a world-leading satellite telecommunications company headquartered in Luxembourg. Last Thursday, the SpaceX team scrubbed the Falcon 9 launch after ignition of the 9 first-stage engines was safely aborted by the flight computer. Data showed the thrust on a few engines, as measured by looking at chamber pressures of each engine, was slow in ramping up. As designed, the Falcon system held the rocket in place while the flight computer verified the engines were at the correct power levels for flight. Now, in the case of these engines, conditions were not satisfactory and the vehicle was not released from the launch pad. This demonstrated the value of SpaceX's hold before release system, and the launch was stopped just inside of T-minus 1 second. Following the scrub, the SpaceX team reviewed telemetry and verified the slow startup signatures on the engines. The team determined through inspections that the gas generators on the engines needed to be cleaned. We kept the rocket vertical on the launch pad after Thursday's scrub. This allowed the team to have easy access to the gas generators. Over the next few days, they were cleaned. Pneumatic checkout of the system has verified the gas generators are responding correctly. Also, in the case of one engine, SpaceX replaced the gas generator as a precautionary step to mitigate risk of another launch scrub. A gas generator that had already successfully completed testing at our Texas test site was installed and checked out on the engine. With these corrective actions, the SpaceX team is go for today's launch attempt. Now, looking at status of the vehicle, the Falcon 9 is working no issues right now. We are pressurized in the helium and nitrogen tanks and topping off liquid oxygen in the first and second stages. On the spacecraft, also working no issues. Recently, the spacecraft has transferred to internal power, and that'll be their final major action between now and liftoff. The Air Force range is also go, as is the weather, which is currently looking good for an on-time liftoff with light winds at ground level and good visibility. So we're going to listen in right now at T-minus 13 minutes to the SpaceX launch conductor's readiness poll for terminal count.
All stations verify ready for launch. FTS.
FTS go.
Prop.
Props go.
AVI.
AVI's go.
GNC.
GNC go.
Ground.
Ground is go.
VC.
VC's go.
GC.
GC's go.
RC.
RC go.
CC.
CC is go.
OSM.
OSM go.
Rock.
Rock go.
Mission Manager.
MM go.
CE.
CE go.
LD.
LD is go, and per step 60.4, you are go to initiate terminal count.
Copy. T-minus 12 minutes. VC, start the terminal count auto sequence, set to start at T-minus 10 minutes.
Copy that. Proceeding.
If a hold is called from this point forward, the terminal count auto sequence will be aborted. Indicate an abort or hold condition by saying hold, hold, hold on the primary countdown net. In this event, the VC will immediately abort the auto sequence. The VC shall not abort the auto sequence after T-minus 10 seconds, and operators shall not call a hold after T-minus 10 seconds. If a hold is called, all operators proceed to the terminal count abort steps in section 10.62. Attention all personnel, stand by to pick up the count at T-minus 10 minutes and counting. On my mark. 3, 2, 1, mark. VC announce auto sequence has started.
The auto sequence has started and continued.
RCO confirm clock is counting.
RCO confirms clock is counting.
GCVC stand by on FireX.
Standing by. Standing by.
RC start the range video recorders.
Edward.
OSM set and launch enable the flight.
Flight.
We are now chilling in all first stage engines. Ground T-tib system is setting up.
T-minus 9 minutes. T-minus 8 minutes.
Nitrogen ACS is closing out. First stage heater auto sequence is ending.
T-minus 7 minutes.
Second stage heater auto sequence is ending. First and second stage internal auto sequences have started. Ground TVC system setting up.
T-minus 6 minutes.
AVI Global.
Vehicle is on internal power.
Stages are pressing in preparation for strong back retract. First and second stage tanks are pressing nominally. Upper cradle clamps are opening.
T-minus 5 minutes.
Strong back is retracting.
T-minus 4 minutes.
Strong back is fully retracted. Second stage tanks are venting nominally.
Vehicle void system is enabled.
FTS is on internal power. FTS is armed. GC confirms good stage 2 TVC motion.
LD, verify go for launch.
Falcon 9 and SES are go for launch.
Flight computers in self-alignment.
Be very careful. There's like a center pulp.
Rock, verify range go.
Range green.
Vehicle is back in manual.
All engines chilled in for flight.
Vehicle's in auto idle.
T-minus 1 minute.
Vehicle is in startup. The flight computer has control of the vehicle. Second stage tanks pressing.
I'll take the pressure.
T-minus 30 seconds. T-minus 20. T-minus 15. T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
First stage propellant utilization active.
Power systems nominal, and we have good telemetry lock.
Vehicle remains in a nominal trajectory with an altitude of 6 kilometers, a downrange distance of 1.2 kilometers, and a velocity of 270 meters per second.
OSM
Vehicle is supersonic.
supersonic, please.
Vehicle is passing through maximum aerodynamic pressure.
Avionics power systems nominal, and we still have a good telemetry lock.
The vehicle remains in a nominal trajectory with an altitude of 30 kilometers, a downrange distance of 26 kilometers, and a velocity of 1.2 kilometers per second.
First stage propulsion performing nominally.
The vehicle remains in a nominal trajectory with an altitude of 48 kilometers, a downrange distance of 64 kilometers, and a velocity of 1.9 kilometers per second.
Second stage engine is chilling in. MECO 1.
Stage SEP commanded.
And that ignition confirmed. Second stage propellant utilization active.
Fairing SEP commanded.
The vehicle is on a nominal trajectory with an altitude of 129 kilometers, a downrange distance of 355 kilometers, and a velocity of 3.2 kilometers per second.
Avionics power systems are nominal.
Stage 2 propulsion systems look good.
The vehicle remains in a nominal trajectory with an altitude of 153 kilometers, a downrange distance of 550 kilometers, and a velocity of 3.7 kilometers per second.
Avionics power systems nominal, and we continue to have a good telemetry log.
Stage 2 propulsion also nominal.
The vehicle's at an altitude of 168 kilometers, a downrange distance of 790 kilometers, and a velocity of 4.5 kilometers per second. The vehicle is at an altitude of 177 kilometers, a downrange distance of 1,150 kilometers, and a velocity of 5.7 kilometers per second.
Stage 2 and MVAC propulsion still looking good.
Terminal guidance has begun.
FTS is saved.
The vehicle remains in a nominal trajectory with an altitude of 178 kilometers, a downrange distance of 1,500 kilometers, and a velocity of 7.6 kilometers per second.
All
MVAC
stations
shutdown confirmed.
AOS Bermuda TX1.
Well, although we lost video right as we flew out of range, the second stage of Falcon 9 and the SES spacecraft are now in orbit. As expected, when we passed out of sight from the ground stations, we lost the signal and we weren't able to bring you any additional video. That is going to bring an end to video coverage from orbit. We've had a great launch today at the 7th flight of our Falcon 9 rocket. We will continue to post updates on our web at spacex.com/webcast, as well as our social media pages. Now, for updates on the mission, please check those sites as we prepare for spacecraft deployment later in this flight. On behalf of the over 3,000 people here at SpaceX, we want to thank our SES customer for their confidence in selecting SpaceX and the Falcon 9 for their launch service. Please continue to follow along for the rest of the mission, and thanks to all of you for joining us today.